The Ethereum supply has gone deflationary. Are we going to soon start running out of ETH? Welcome everyone to my channel, Bearman Crypto, where we talk all things crypto. In today's video, I'll be talking to you a bit about ETH and what I'm seeing in the ecosystem and what I've seen happening over the last few days in the news. So today, looking at ETH, it's just starting to come to people's attention now that ETH is now fully deflationary since the merge. Here we can see ETH hit a peak and now has started to drop off. The supply has been dropping off at about 2,000 ETH per day that's being burned, and that is just based on current rate and what's being used in that ecosystem. And as things start to heat up once again with the markets, I'm sure we'll soon start to see this rate of burn off starting to accelerate. And at this rate, the way it's going, we'll soon start to really feel the impact of a deflationary ETH. And what should so happen? Should we get that deflationary ETH? Prices should hopefully start to move. I know over the last few months we've been stuck in this sideways action where everything seems to be going so slow, but at some point things will definitely start moving. So I found this website, Deflationary Money. It has some very interesting stats on what's happening with ETH since the merge. Here we can see how much ETH is being burnt at a rate that is higher than what is being issued in the ecosystem at the moment. Just looking at the last 30 days, the amount of ETH that's been burnt is equal to the amount of ETH that's been issued. And if we were to look out and see what is actually happening, look at the bigger picture, zoom out, we can actually see that there's a greater level of ETH that is being burnt, greater than the supply that is being issued. So what is happening? ETH has gone deflationary, people. ETH has gone deflationary. This is a very interesting stuff. This is an interesting stat as well that I found. So at its peak, ETH, we had about 120 million in supply. And at the projected rate by 2025, where I would imagine things will start to pick up with the crypto markets, will have burned close to about 5 million ETH. That is a lot of ETH to be burnt, people. That is a lot of money being burnt. And as that money burns, price should go up. And again, anything that I talk about in my videos is not financial advice. This is just purely for entertainment purposes. Anything I do talk about in these videos, please do your own research. I'm just sharing with you my views and what I'm seeing happening in these crazy crypto markets. And as we look further down, this we can see what is happening in terms of accounts that are holding ETH, as well as contracts that are have ETH locked in. And since the merge, we can see, so the merge, when it started in 2020, we could see that there was next to no validators on the ETH chain. And since ETH 2.0 was announced that it was kicking off, we started having validators lock in their ETH. And at the moment, at the peak, if you look at the green line down here, we can see this is the validators that have staked their ETH, and that seems to be growing actually. So despite obviously the merge now having happened, I'm not sure. We'll just have to watch to see if this starts to tail off. But at its peak, we had 15 million ETH that were locked in. And lots of things are happening in the ETH ecosystem. So just news out today, staking rewards are starting to rise as we see leverage stakers APR that is now up at the dizzy heights of 11%. That is absolutely unheard of with ETH. So people are now taking their chances and staking more ETH. And What I tend to do myself is I always make sure that I stake it on chain. So I get myself a hard wallet, be that a ledger, put my ETH on there, and then at least I've got a bit of control. And then make sure that anything that I do stake, I stake it on chain. So this article today is just showing us just how much things are moving in the ecosystem. So there's various things that are going on in terms of staking rewards, from offerings where people are looking at IC ETH and as well as ETH Max, and the APRs in these areas are now starting to go up and have done so in the last week. So there's a lot of interest coming into the ecosystem, and things are starting to pick up. So people are showing a bit of faith in the ecosystem. And just to have a look at where we are with current price action. So just with TradingView open here, so we can see I've got pulled up the weekly here. So we can see that since about April, end of March, we have been on this downward trend. So the market has been pushed down severely. We can see that we're struggling all the way down. And the sort of key levels I'm watching for at the moment is, you can see that we're in this downward projection. So I'm looking to see if we can break above 1400. If we break above 1400, we might have a bit of a recovery rally, but nothing too special. We are still very much in a bear market. But my main areas of interest that I'm watching, where I'll start to reaccumulate some of my ETH, is if we can break down towards this $980 mark. This is where I'm likely going to start to reaccumulate my ETH. And this is where I think the market will start to bottom out, and potentially things might soon start to recover. But when we do recover, it's going to be a slow recovery. I don't see us getting a lot of bull action until probably towards the end of 2023. But anytime if we drop any further down, I'm going to start to reaccumulate, because no one can actually guess where the bottom is going to be. So if we can start to accumulate over a period of time, that is my strategy that I'm taking with ETH at the moment. And I'm sure at some point those juicy prices will come in. All we have to do is just sit and be a bit patient. And once things start to recover, I see ETH is going to pump, and it will. Everyone has talked about it. There's a high likelihood in 2025 we are going to see the flippening. When we look at the market cap of ETH versus BTC, we can see ETH is nearly pretty much half the market cap of BTC. So I think, given the new tokenomics of Ethereum, I can definitely see the flippening happening, and I will be stacking up my ETH when that day, and watching that day when it arrives. But that's all I've got for you today, guys, on the video on ETH. If you like what you've heard, please do subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. See you again in my next video. Make sure you stick around and pay attention.